In this lesson, I'm going to show you to install Windows 7 Pro into an Apple or a Mac computer. So the lesson will teach you step by step on how to install Windows by using a software emulator, on how to install Windows by using a software emulator. The softwares that are out there are 1, VMware, or 2, Parallel. Those are the two most popular software so that it is going to help you embed Windows 7 into your Mac computer. I chose Parallel as the software of my choice to install Windows on a Mac. So why? I chose Parallel because it is the most widely installed software on the Mac. Also, it is very powerful and fast. The best thing is, it is very easy to use. So let's get started and dive into installing Windows on a Mac. First thing you're going to do is, of course, you have to install Parallel. To purchase Parallel, go to parallel.com and download the software. There is a 30 days trial to buy. 30 days there is a trial software you can download to test it out. After installing, Parallel is very easy to install. You just download the software and install it. What I'm wanting to show you is going to show you how to install Windows on a Mac. So here it is. You click Parallel Desktop, which is on the dock, or it's going to be in your application folder. What you do is you go to the Mac hard drive, you would go to the applications folder, and you will find Parallels Desktop. That's the software that we're going to use in order to install Windows. It needs to be launched. And the Parallels version that I use is version 8. There's 9 already coming out, but I would always wait for the version 6 months when it released, because I will guarantee you they will have bugs. Okay, so you would double click here, and once you double click here, this will open up. New virtual machine. You can also install Linux, Ubuntu, such as Ubuntu, etc., and so forth. There are all kinds of software out there, operating system that you can use and choose from. So you click on the disk for Windows. You would click Continue. Then you have to put in the disk of Windows. I'm going to put Windows 7 disk in, and I'm now entering it, putting it into my Mac computer. I click Continue, and then it says make sure that the installation disk is inserted. So during the installation, just prepare to put the disk in before you hit Continue. So that's something that you wanted to see. I wanted to show you that if you put the disk in and it didn't read, that's what it's going to do. So when you click OK again, and then click Continue. Now, this is going to be an express installation. So there's going to be a pre-check mark box for express installation. After that, click Continue. Now, there are 2 types of installation during the process of integrating your Windows into the Mac. There are one called Like a Mac, 2 Like a PC. Like a Mac is something similar to every particular Windows, every key commands or mouse commands or minimize, maximize will be very similar to a Mac. I recommend to install it like a PC. And basically, once you load Windows, it will give you a Windows screen, and I will show you how that will work. So I would choose like a PC. There are some times when you have a very powerful Mac, you would like to choose like a Mac. Most likely, I recommend like a PC. So let's go ahead and start installing it like a PC. Click continue. So the name of the Windows, as you know, this software Parallel actually scans the disk, and once it sees Windows 7, what it does is it automatically populate Windows 7 as the title. So of course you can name it anything you want. You can name it Windows 7 Pro if it's a professional disk. You can name it Home Edition or Ultimate. Right now I'm just going to leave it as Windows 7, okay, as a default. And of course it's going to install into a local drive folder of the hard drive on your Mac. User/user documents, and in the documents folder it's going to Parallels. That's where all your Windows files and even Windows operating system will reside in. Okay, so again I'm going to click continue. So what it's doing now is that it is going to launch a DOS operating system on Parallel. And so you can see now Windows is loading the files. So here's the process of installing Windows. Okay, I'm going to let it run and then install Windows normally. And during the installation, I will, I'm gonna have to pause and then just skip this whole installation. It takes 20 minutes to install and get back to you on to the next steps. Okay, so let it run. I'll be back. Okay, now this is the next step. This is what's Parallel is doing is, of course, it is the software emulator to install Windows 7. Windows 7 is now launching on top of Parallel. And so since I have a disk, I'm going to install Windows 7 Professional, and I select the Windows 7 Professional. Okay, so now during this installation, we're installing Windows, and it's going to go through all the copying the files from the disk onto the Parallels folder of the Windows 7 Pro side. And this is going to take approximately another 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to pause this part. I'm going to skip through all of this, and then we're going to go to the next installation. So again, it is still installing Windows 7 Pro, and we're going to have to wait until it's fully completed. Now, this is the final stage of the Windows 7 Pro installation. So once it's going to shut down and restart, this is the next thing we're going to do. It's booting up for the first time into Windows 7 Professional. Okay. Finally, Windows 7 Professional is fully installed on a Mac, and the next step will be to test the Windows. And how we're going to test the Windows, this is what I'm going to show you. Okay, so the first thing will be popping up will be the setup network location. Again, this is going to ask for the first time if you wanted to treat all future networks that are connected and don't ask again. You can check mark this, which I normally do. And I always treat this one as a work network. I will choose either a public network if you're putting this on on a computer that are multiple user. If this is your own computer, you would choose home network. Okay. that's what I'm going to do, because since this is going to be only on one computer and it's going to be one user. Okay. Now it is selecting the location of the network. So it's doing is network connection, and you can share the other home computers running Windows 7. Your typical pictures, music, videos, and printers, but don't check mark documents. Hit next, and it is now installing the home computers running Windows 7. Okay, and also you have this password key to add other computers to your home group. This one you want to save and print it out, so that in the future, if some computer would try to access your document or access your certain file, they'll ask you to enter this password key. So you just got to make sure this is, you can save that. Right now I'm just going to put it on a sticky notepad, and we can later on use it. Once that's done, you hit finish, and you're now running Windows on a Mac. That's it.